He was one of the most notorious Nazi war criminals, infamous for his deadly experiments on twins. But at the end of World War II, he simply disappeared. Despite a global manhunt by Mossad and the Allies, he would die a free man 34 years later in Brazil. Who was Dr. Mengele? What did he do after the war? And why was he never caught? Josef Rudolf Mengele, or better known as Angel of Death, was a German Nazi SS officer and a physician in the Nazi concentration camp, Auschwitz. He worked with Rudolf Höss, the Nazi commandant of Auschwitz. Josef saw an opportunity to conduct medical research on human subjects. His experiments focused primarily on twins, with little or no regard for the health or safety of the victims. He frequently assumed an enthusiastic posture on the railroad platform at Auschwitz-Birkenau concentration camp as trainloads of captives arrived from across German-occupied Europe. Pointing in one direction, the SS physician sent the healthiest prisoners to factory work as slave laborers. Pointing in the opposite direction, he sent countless women, children, the frail and the elderly to die in gas chambers and be cremated. Mengele was fascinated with twins. He was interested in differences between identical and fraternal twins, as well as how genetic diseases originated and affected them. His experiments also distinguished between genetic traits and those developed by the environment of the child. He operated on children to find genetic weaknesses in the makeup of Jewish or Gypsy people, thereby providing scientific evidence for the ideas of the Nazi Party. Mengele hypothesized that his subjects were particularly vulnerable to certain diseases because of their race, and that they had degenerative blood and tissue. In January 1945, as the Soviet Red Army advanced through western Poland, Mengele fled Auschwitz with the rest of the camp's SS personnel. He spent the next few months serving at the Gross-Rosen concentration camp and its subcamps. In the final days of the war, he donned a German army uniform and joined a military unit. After the war ended, the unit surrendered to US military forces. The US Army released him in early August 1945, unaware that Mengele's name was already on a list of wanted war criminals. From late 1945 until spring 1949, Mengele worked under a false name as a farmhand near Rosenheim, Bavaria. From here he was able to establish contact with his family. When US war crimes investigators learned of Mengele's crimes at Auschwitz, they tried to find and arrest him. Based on lies told by Mengele's family, however, the investigators concluded that Mengele was dead. The US effort to arrest him forced Mengele to recognize that he was not safe in Germany. With financial support from his family, Mengele immigrated to Argentina under yet another false name in July 1949. By 1956, Mengele was well established in Argentina and felt so safe that he obtained Argentine citizenship as Jose Mengele. In 1959, however, he learned that West German prosecutors knew he was in Argentina and were seeking his arrest. Mengele immigrated to Paraguay and obtained citizenship there. In May 1960, Israeli intelligence agents abducted Adolf Eichmann in Argentina and took him to Israel to be tried. Correctly guessing that the Israelis were also looking for him, Mengele fled Paraguay. With support from his family in Germany, he spent the rest of his life under an assumed name near Sao Paulo, Brazil. On February 7, 1979, Mengele suffered a stroke and drowned while swimming at a vacation resort near Bertioga, Brazil. He was buried in a suburb of Sao Paulo under the assumed name Wolfgang Gerhard. Brazilian police located Mengele's grave and exhumed his corpse in June 1985. American, Brazilian, and German forensic experts positively identified the remains as those of Josef Mengele. In 1992, DNA evidence confirmed this conclusion. Mengele eluded arrest for 34 years and was never brought to justice. The hunt for Josef Mengele is a testament to the resilience of those who refuse to let history's darkest figures escape accountability.